Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's been a minute. Good morning. This is the morning dew for certified doers just like you. I'm Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District. Honored and proud to serve in the most delightful way. I'm on a little bit late today. And I feel like it's been a while. It's probably been 2 weeks. I think a couple weeks ago I may have woken up with a migraine. I don't know if anybody else out there suffers from migraines, but I get these things that are called complex migraines, where if I get a migraine, it appears as if it is a stroke, which is a whole thing. It takes me out. And then there was the holiday, being very respectful of uh, my little citizens being here. So we're back at it. I literally have no agenda today. No. So I am at you all's leisure. Good morning. Good morning, Brian. So good to see you. Good morning, Slow Dive. Mr. Little. Hello, Miss Candy. Thank you guys for joining this morning. I could just kind of go through where we're at in process and the so what, now what. I think we've talked post election. Um, so here's what's going to happen so that you can kind of get a little bit of background of like where we go from today. It is the top of December, and if you don't know, the top of January. So, in about a month and a half, I'll be going up to Richmond. We have the legislative session. So, as a citizen legislator, you know that it's part-time job, full-time problems, part-time job, full-time problems. And so I'll be from January 14th to March 14th. That's when we do all of our lawmakings. And so I'll be up in Richmond. But remember, I spend about 80+%, 85% of my time right here in district. So it's a small time just to do the process of lawmaking. I had to pre-file what's called pre-file. I had to pre-file all the legislation that I wanted to carry by this past Monday. What pre-filing is where I'm submitting all of the ideas to the lawyers in the Department of Legislative Services to tell them, here are my ideas. Can you help me turn it into the legalese code term so that I can start presenting it in January. And those lawyers will go ahead and start making drafts. I've got a couple bills that came straight from the email box from citizens just like you. I'm excited about it. I do still have the opportunity to put 5 more bills in if I want to. So if you've got a really great idea, or I hate to say that because then if I say I can't carry it, then you might think, oh, it's not a great idea. That is not the truth. But if you've got an idea or something that you want to do, go ahead and send it to my office at DELJ Glass at house.virginia.gov. I should have the scroll going across the bottom today, but I don't. But that's how that works. So like I said this morning, I don't have a set agenda usually, like I'm breaking it down for y'all and things like that, but I don't have that this morning. I'm open to your questions, to your comments. Remember, this is your time. You get to ask the questions. I want to shout out on Instagram. We have David James, and I always say Glass like Glass is his last name, but really it's David James. David James, for being a crucial part of me being able to understand the marijuana legislation and how it impacted glass makers. And this year we'll see in action, hopefully it'll become in legislation. The fact that David brought up, as a glass maker, there was a tax that we were putting on paraphernalia that was very significant, making it difficult for small businesses like David's to be able to make money in the marijuana market so thank you, David. It allowed me to be a good advocate. That's my biggest flex. Let me just tell you, as a state representative, which I thoroughly enjoy being a representative. Hey, Ray and Gordon, I don't know how to say the name. And then I see Bry Mad CD says Jesus saves. Appreciate you guys for being on here. But
with that, I don't, my biggest flex, seriously, my biggest flex is that citizens like you are able to give me information and help me understand the things that are happening in real life so that I can go ahead and put that into legislation. So if you're new and joining me here, again, I see all the folks here. I'm Delegate Jackie Hope Glass. I am a state representative in the Commonwealth of Virginia, a politician. I like to call myself a stateswoman. But I do this morning dew live every Thursday morning at 7 a.m. so that I at least know once a week I'm giving the constituents, the people, some time. So it's your opportunity to ask questions. Sometimes I feel like I'm just a talking head up here because you just folks are just tuning in. But my role and my goal always with the morning dew has been to educate, advocate, celebrate, then legislate. I've always wanted to have a place where I can learn more. Like I said, that's my biggest flex is that people educate me heavily as a legislator. And it's not easy work, but I am fortunate to be able to do it. And I was just saying, I'm shouting out David James for his help with helping me understand the pieces of the marijuana legislation. If you are in the Commonwealth of Virginia, um, it next year is a long budget year, so I'll be there for 60 whole days doing the lawmaking process, and I'm pretty excited about what is to come. I still don't know what committees are. So for those of you guys who are new here, as a politician or lawmaker in Virginia, what happens is every 2 years I'm running for office. Now, when it comes to knowing what kind of work of law that I'm going to be able to get into, that is up to whoever has the chamber. And so the Speaker of the House will be determining what committees I get to sit on, which determines what kinds of law I get to interact with on a daily basis. So I'm really excited about finding out what committees I'll be on. I won't know until I get up there in January. But right now, as it stands, I sit on the committee for transportation, where I'm the subcommittee chair for transportation innovation. So I manage the meetings about like speed cameras. So don't beat me up. Speed cameras, towing, any sort of innovation in transportation. I sit on the committee for Chesapeake agriculture and natural resources, where we deal with you eat it, plant it, drink it, smoke it. All of that information is there. That's what we do in agriculture, Chesapeake Natural Resources. I sit on the committee for communication technology and innovation, where I'm the subcommittee chair for communications. And I hear the TikTok bills, I hear broadband bills, I hear all kinds of things like that. And then the last committee I sit on is the Privileges and Election Committee, where I am the subcommittee chair for elections and administration. So anything that has to do with how we administer our elections, I'm the subcommittee chair that hears all that legislation and rolls it through from there. So I'm looking in the comments. I see David James says, "Oh, you inspired me." He said, "You inspired me, and then I was able to inspire others to participate." Folks are speaking in front of legislators recently. That's the important part, is that like you guys do own this process, and the more people that you're able to get to be participatory. And I see Stoner Cat says, Trump is the best friend. I don't care who you rocking with right now, because we've got work to do. Like I don't. It doesn't. None of that matters, because I live in community, and that's the work that we do. So people that have run for the same seat as I have, we work on legislation together. I'm actually shout out to Giovanni Dovo. He ran at the same time I did a couple years ago, and has brought to my attention a lot of legislation about shared parenting and about fathers' rights and things like that. And I'm working on some legislation for that this year. So shout out to him for that. And he sits on the other side of the aisle. Don't worry about that. But when it comes to parenthood, like I'm parenting in a 2-parent household. So I get it, right? Like I get how important my spouse is to the development of my children. So I'm really excited about working with people on that. So if you come here, look, you're not going to find a overly politicized conversation unless it needs to be, because we we call a spade a spade. But what you will be here to do is learn more, be more, do more. So David James says that wouldn't happen without you in these IG lives. Yeah, these IG lives are not here to be antagonistic. If you want to do that, that's great. But we're here to 1000% to educate, advocate, celebrate, then legislate to learn more. What am I? So it's your opportunity to ask the questions, to do all the things. Luke, if you want to elaborate on your question, he says you're gonna work to pay off all the welfare babies. So then you'd have to articulate who you believe those people are and what you defined as that. And then we'll walk forward to say if we're going to be people who are providing social services to those in need, right? Okay. And if you feel cooked, hey, you should articulate why you feel like you're cooked, because we're definitely in the conversation of trying to make sure that quality of life, right? Remember how I said the mission here is that we don't give a care. I don't give a shit if you're come here, if you're from here, or if you're passing through here. You deserve to feel safe, supported, and empowered to improve your quality of life. And that's where we're at. For the new folks here, just to give you a little bit of understanding of my background, I'm originally from the Chicagoland area. I served almost 11 years in the United States Navy as a naval cryptologist. My background is in workforce education, training, and development. So building curriculum, helping people understand things. And I got into politics just trying to help kids do their homework. That's how I ended up here. And I'm super grateful to be able to serve. So please, we use this time very well. We don't use it to jab or anything like that, but you're certainly welcome to do that, because it's a public platform, and I recognize as public officials, we are oftentimes subject to scrutiny. And for those of you guys on Instagram who can't understand why I'm saying that, I just have someone on here that's like, we're cooked, and is talking about welfare babies and things like that. And hey, here, I see it, I acknowledge it, and you get to have your opinions. But here we educate. Brian Daniel says support clean water. Brian Daniel, Delegate Darius Clark, who is actually my seatmate, he is on, I believe, the water board. So I'm not sure if you've seen that commission, but they've been doing, I got a chance to talk to him, and he was talking about the work that they were doing on the water board. So I definitely want to make sure that I tap you in with him in that work, because we were kind of nerding out on our worry about water and the future of water, and how we need to do cybersecurity with water and all the different stuff and things. So please keep me honest on that. I want to connect that dots and make sure that you know about that commission. David James says, on Instagram. So I have to read the comments from Instagram because they don't overlap here. But David James Glass says, any way to get a bill that would encourage Norfolk to take on other quality of life solutions like sending a letter to a noisy neighbor before it has to go to the police. Modified exhaust specifically. Can I say something on the modified exhaust? We did see a bill last session about modified exhaust. David James Glass there, I believe, and I don't know if it was funded. I'm going to have to go back and look at the legislation, but there was a piece of legislation in Northern Virginia. It was I think it was Delegate Carr who may have brought it, darn it, I'm trying to think. But the bill was to a pilot program that would have these noise monitors so that they could actually see, especially with those modified exhausts, how loud it actually was. It's very difficult for the police to prosecute that, because by the time that person with that loud exhaust or overly loud exhaust goes through, they're gone. So make sure, reach out to me. You know how to get a hold of the office, but reach out to me and I can connect the dots on that bill. I just don't remember whether or not it got funded, and it was a pilot program in Northern Virginia. It says, he said, a bill that requires 7-Elevens to clean their lots and hold them accountable for trash that comes off of their lots into the communities. That is, my question, and David James is in Norfolk, Virginia, just for everyone for the good of the order. I don't know where everyone is, but if you could drop in the comments, where are you at? Like, where are you located? That would be lovely, so I can sort of shout you out for being here this morning. But that is something that I would get with the Department of Neighborhood Engagement and see about maybe partnering or doing something with the council members and initiative and keep Norfolk beautiful. And I know like that sounds real cheesy, but I think you are not the only one to say or talk about this. But really, if possible, really looking at community solutions that maybe when people litter, you can ticket. And I'm not saying you write 7-Eleven tickets, but like there's got to be a way to hold folks accountable. So please, uh, please make that connection with the Department of Neighborhood Engagement. A bill, he said, okay, bring a bill. And I love, okay, what's your bill ideas? If you could have me bring a bill forth for the 2026 session, what would that bill be? Drop it in the chat what you would want a bill for. Now, keep in mind, right? I am a state level legislator. So, and Virginia, if you're in the Commonwealth of Virginia, it's a Dillon rule state. So the counties, cities, and towns get a lot of their authority from the state. Dillon rule says that like the authorities granted to county, cities, towns come through the state. So drop your thing, drop it in the comments, and then I'll sort of think about what bill I've drafted that I'm most excited about. I already know it. That I'm most excited about, a bill that I hope gets seen through because it's super necessary right now. David James says a bill that won't let dash marts or ghost kitchens next to residential areas. That these are my personal issues. I love it. 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 That, why I say I love that. I don't love the headache for you, but I also love that you take ownership of your space and place. And I know that we'd be in a lot better place if we all just sort of understood our own. We cannot, nobody can change the fucking world. I can't change the world. You can't change the world, but we can take on our corner of the world and hopefully do right by it. Joanne says, sorry, does a lot. Delegate Clark does a lot about water. Yeah, he does. And I was a little jelly when he told me he was on the water commission. I was like, man, I want to be on the water commission or maybe the air board or something like that. But yeah, we nerd out over water. If you're a water nerd, look, come on through. There's legislation for everyone. Literally, we did legislation on cake pops. We did legislation on roadkill, on speed cameras, as David James says. I saw one the other day about cottagers. So about the fees for cottage. There is something from everyone. And if you are not walking out your door butt ass naked every day, then you understand that's one, cultural norms, but two, because like it's against the law. You can't do it. Our whole lives are legislated in some way, shape, or form. So it's super advantageous that you take the opportunity to get and engage on the thing that matters to you. Because like, don't be trying to do everything. And that's the thing. Same here. I just cannot. I'm not with trying to do and be all the things. That's just not my shtick. Brian Daniel says, thank you. Chesapeake Bay Foundation is doing a legislative session Monday evening at 8:30 at the Brock Center. Many of my federal legislators are attending. You're also invited. Unfortunately, I'll be out of town. Brian, unfortunately, I'll be out of town on Monday, so I won't be able to go, but I'm sure that it'll be a great time and a great opportunity. Oh, wow. Sorry, I was missing some things on. Oh, Chelsea Higgs Wise, good morning. Our Mayor of Virginia marijuana specialist who really keeps us all in the know. So if you haven't, go ahead and go follow Chelsea Higgs Wise and also follow Virginia. Actually, what's the actual tag? But it's Virginia Marijuana Justice. I am thinking they may be getting some things done this session, right? Fingers crossed on, curbing that black market and getting the legalized marijuana market here in the Commonwealth. Let's see. Chelsea says these speed camera tickets, $100 a pop. Let's make a max because these $100 is a lot per ticket. It is. But I've seen even coming down 64 through New Kent, people's behavior are changing. They're slowing down, which is a super necessary thing. It's super necessary thing. Oh, also, so Chelsea Hicks Wise says that the Richmond LGBTQ chamber is doing a legislative education session for these bills, for bills in Richmond as well. Good. Yeah. If you've got an opportunity or something that you want folks to show up to, please drop it in the chat and I'll go ahead and share it. And it's at THC Justice Now. Okay. At THC Justice Now. That's if you're interested in that realm of law, because that is a space. Remember, I said there is a space for everybody. There is something for everybody. Oh, Chris Jackson. I think that's my cousin. Hey, Chris. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So the bill that I think I'm the most excited about, that I'm hoping it's going to cost money, and the goal this session, y'all, is because of the things that are happening at the federal government, right? Knowing what's happening at the federal government, recognizing that the states are going to have to take a lot more financial ownership of things because of the degradation of services and goods and opportunities coming from the federal level, that we're going to have to figure out our money. Money is going to be the biggest deal because everybody needs it. There's not enough of it. We were just having conversations with lawmakers across the country about how it's across the country. Education is getting more expensive, and education also is funded most of the times by real estate taxes. But the money that's coming in for real estate taxes is not enough to keep up with the educational needs. And so we've got to really consider funding formulas, other means of taxation. Unfortunately, y'all, this is really where we're at. So if you're, I had some people cheerleading what's happening at the federal government, but listen, the way that trickles down to our state and our state level responsibility, you will feel that. You will feel that. And then in your locality where you live, and when the state isn't able to support the localities as much, you're going to feel that. It is happening. So I'm trying to make sure that I brought forth legislation that didn't have an added cost. But the one in particular that I'm really, really kind of like, we need it, is a fraud alert system. What I've seen so far is a lot of folks getting got to scams, and the same scam is able to sort of do this repeat in these communities, particularly with my elders. College students are a huge swath of people that I've seen getting scammed. And so I want the state to, just as they send you an Amber Alert, just as they send you a weather alert or anything like that, if there is a scam that is widespread, and we're seeing a lot of folks have it, and a lot of times sheriff's departments are keeping their eyes on that. I know that our sheriff, Joe Barron, here in Norfolk, Virginia, is really good about putting out when there's scams, but a scam alert to sort of curb those things before they go rampant. We are in a time where people are getting a lot more sophisticated at how they're able to sort of get at you and get at your personal identifiable information or get up in your pockets. So I really want a way to make sure that we can, across the Commonwealth, put people on alert that, hey, this is an issue, be out for it, so that they can look out for it, not only for themselves, but maybe for the young people, people in their lives, specifically the young and our seasoned citizens. So I'm fingers crossed. It costs money. It's probably going to be a hard sell in these times, but here we go. So I'm looking at, Jamie says, what are your thoughts in the tent issue concerning the sailor getting harassed? Should tent laws go? Some like more tent since it's moved to secondary. Seems like the more tent has moved to secondary concerned. I'm going to read this. Seems like a lot more tent since it has moved to a secondary. Concerned more tickets will go out even if not a primary. Okay, so here's the deal with that particular thing. This is why I'm waiting to follow up. As I said in the video I released about the sailor, for those of you all who don't know, there was a video online with a person in leadership saying that he had to tell his sailors to carry their passport because there was a sailor that that got pulled over by Norfolk Police Department and ICE and all these things, right? And I posted and said, hey, look, first of all, here's where he's right, is that tent is a secondary offense. It's not something that you can be pulled over for unless you have another a primary violation, like you ran a stop sign, you were speeding, and all those things. Then you can get ticketed for things like your tent, something hanging in your mirror, or your inspection sticker, all these other things, right? And I said that I was looking into it. And because we are waiting to get the hard facts, there are two things that went through my mind. And like I said, we're going to find out what's happening. Two things went through my mind is that is definitely something that probably should have went through the chain of command. Because again, I'm just saying this, I was a sailor for almost 11 years, and I've led junior sailors. My first thought was trust but verify. And I think I said that in the video, trust but verify. My gut said trust but verify, not only because that's my mantra, but because when I thought about him saying that it was a junior sailor coming from late back from lunch, and the military ID aspect, and the fact that he was able to be like there were things that caused some suspicion for me. So that's why I'm saying I'm waiting to figure out if it's true. And I know 1000% for a fact that the chief of police who I've talked to, they are adamantly working to make sure they are working to make sure that this was a valid, that this, if this happened, that they take care of it. So we have what are called, hold on, I'm going to get the name of them. Okay, so for the good of the order, I'm going to explain something real quick. And this is a question that David James posed about the sailor, the video that was going around. There are these things called 287G agreements. And your local law enforcement, whether it's your sheriff's department or your police department, can go into what's called a 287-4G agreement with immigration enforcement, right? And if they go into that agreement that says that they're going to do all the things to cooperate, help, and all these good things, these things are not mandatory, right? Because federal is federal, state is state, local is local. And I know for a fact that Norfolk PD, Norfolk Sheriff's Department, in a 287G agreement. My hypothesis is several things, is that there's a lot going on here, right? Just like there's a lot going in all those places, and their focus is on the public safety for Norfolk residents, not necessarily civil offenses, because that's not what they necessarily dabble in, but taking care of making sure our jails are safe, making sure that that folks are supported and on their way to a better quality of life, and protecting and serving in our communities, right? So civil offenses like this is Jackie's hypothesis, like immigration established, that's not the highest priority for a police department at the local level. Now, if you go to the ICE website, then you can see in your state, wherever you are, all of the departments that have the 287G agreements, right? And that means that they're in. We did have where our governor came down and was like, yo, we're going to hold funding unless you sign these agreements. Again, these agreements are, I feel like we're in the so sue me culture, right? Like our governor came out and said that, and it's like, okay, like, dude, that's not one of your, that you can't, right? And we've seen that with this emboldenedness of somebody stop me. And that's where we have to know how things operate so we can do the somebody stop me. So some of the lawsuits you've seen at the federal level, like to stop some of the things that are quite frankly illegal or unconstitutional, those things are still happening. So my thoughts are, I really do want to get to the bottom of it. Because it's looking like this may not have been a real thing, and that someone might have been saying this just to be like, I don't know yet. So like when I speak on it, it will be because like I said, the chief I know is running it to the ground, trying to get a hold of folks to verify, because if that is the case, I'm they've taken care of it because they don't have, and it is not normal for again, spidey senses is that for a ICE agent to be in a local police vehicle. That did not gel or add up. Okay. So waiting, you'll know more. Now, as far as the tent, yeah, I love tent. I wish it wasn't illegal. I get it. The police need to see in the car and all those good things, but um I'm not concerned. I'm concerned that, I'm not concerned about the ticketing thing, because like if you run that risk, you get that the tent past what you're supposed to, then you know what you're getting yourself into. And if you drive in and get a primary and get a ticket for it, then that's the risk you take. That's a risk you take. And I'm saying that because I got people that was like, I don't care if I'm not going to get pulled over. Okay. Like, okay. Sometimes if you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. So I just leave that there. The feds can pull over. So the feds can pull over 10 or whatever of the grid. Okay. So David James is asking, so can the feds pull over for tent? No. Or because of the agreement, or does it give NPD more power? So the two, and I'm going to pull it up, that program. So what it does is, to explain, let me explain this to you, because I was just talking about the 287G agreements. They are a partnership between the U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement, or ICE as we all call it, and a state or a local law enforcement agency that allows local officers to perform specific immigration enforcement functions, right? So it'll allow them to carry those sorts of things out. It is authorized by a section, right, that is called 287G of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Okay, so the Immigration and Nationality Act, and these agreements enable the local law enforcement to help identify and arrest non-citizens for removal through the whole, I know you guys have heard of the jail enforcement model, or the warrant service office. So they through warrants or through jail enforcement, right? So if they show up at the prison and they look at their immigrations or the jail for whatever, say they were drunk driving or whatever, and they can check their status and then cooperate with, hold them until ICE gets there, or through a warrant model. So they are designed as, if you've heard of MOU or MOAs, a memorandum of understanding or agreement. And they include, what happens is they get, include provisions for the local state agency to get training, to have supervision by ICE, and to sort of reimburse them for their participation in those, in whatever those things are, right? So it could be a task force, it can be a warrant, it could be through jail. That's what the 287G agreement is. I hope that helps. Does that make sense? That makes sense. Top of the morning. Yeah, tent law should go. Virginia, as our tired of being criminals by government. Okay. For bad behavior. He said, for the bad behavior of you, tired of a group of punishment. Yeah, I'm tired of group punishment too. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But that is, I'm gonna roll out of here, guys. If there are no, and thank you for your participation today. Khadijah, hello, happy Thursday. So glad to have you here. Oh, Coffee with a Muslim says to David, I'm shocked that there has not been more people suing this administration. Yeah, yep. I mean, but I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine, and she was like, I wrote it down on a paper. I don't know where it is, but we were talking about the so sue me culture of like, we got to take them up on their offer and, put our courts to the test on some of the things. I'm not in the business of just surrendering rights. I was having this conversation with my husband where it's like, I'm a 215 girl. All right. 215, 215, which means, yes, I have firearms and I believe in voting rights. So like, I don't think you can have one without the other, right? Firearms and voting rights, hand in hand. Okay, like not hand in hand, but you understand, like I'm not interested in compromising these things, but I also am not so obsessed with portions of them that I don't know that I don't understand that we can't move these ideas and the ideals into the 21st century, or where we're operating right now, that operating on the landscape that we have right now. Kevin, I love it. Kevin says, awesomeness, go to Costco. That is a fact. I was thinking we should probably do some community Costco runs. We've got folks that are not leaving the house. Um, there's a lot going on with some families in the areas that are not able to leave, or affordability, like recognizing that it costs a heck of a lot of money for it. Oh my God, I was buying egg. I go to Costco has been my go-to. But eggs. I was like, golly. Now I just won't buy them unless I buy at Costco, because I'd rather spend that grip there, get a whole bunch, and be not having to be going to the store. But we could buy bulk things and split them up. Y'all interested? Somebody want to head that up? a community Costco run. I'm here for it. I'm here for it because I don't need all this. I got the oat milk pack. And I was like, I don't need 6 containers of oat milk, but I would split it with somebody. So yeah, we over here balling on a budget, yo. Just kidding. All right. So great to see you all. So grateful to have you all be in the place. Excited about session. I look forward to hearing from you all in some way, shape, or form. I'll be here next Thursday, same place, same dad channel. This has been the morning dew for certified doers. Oh, how about okay, I'm going to take this last question because we're talking about guns. I need to do a shooting fundraiser. How about no ban on sporting rifles? Instead, let's do increased charges for violent gun activity. I'm worried Dems are going to take some losses from an AK sales ban. Yeah, as an owner of an AK, like just being real, like I know that there are not a lot of gun owners in the conversation, and I can assure you, David, and other gun owners, that I've been working really hard over this past year, sort of looking at the headwinds of where the legislature could go, to have conversations with the advocate groups that come up with these laws about guns, to help them understand what gun ownership looks like. Particularly David and others, what something that I took sort of what I found, and it wasn't troubling, but I was like, there's a misunderstanding and a misconception that I think folks that are creating these laws or bringing these ideas to fruition need to understand, that storage looks different nowadays, right? So there's some storage bills that I've got my eye on that I've already said, well, listen, if you relegate me to only having this locked safe that has then I'm going to have a problem with that, because I recognize the many safe storage possibilities for me as a gun owner, as that I think we have 4 or 5 different ways in this house that we store our guns in a safe manner. So that piece, I too, like you, I'm looking at what's going to happen with the gun bills, right? I think we need more common sense, and not common sense, good sense gun owners, or that's not common sense. We need more responsible gun owners in the conversation. What ends up happening is that we get people who have a unhealthy relationship with their guns, right? Obsessively over their guns, leading the charge in the conversation. And for me, I love shooting rifle. Like I am really good at it. I suck at shooting pistols. I'm terrible at ski and trap, but I do all these things, right? I have a concealed carry. I carry, and I'm, actually sort of having conversations about my ability to carry while I'm in session because of the political climate that we're in. So I get it. I know that this is going to be, but we do need more responsible gun owners to be able to sit in the space and have conversations with all of the gun advocacy groups. Now, to be fair, just telling y'all this right now, I've tried to have conversations with the NRA and there's no moving, right? So like when I find that the conversation is not going to be healthy, like where we can't even be sense driven on anything, then there's no need there. That's not a group that I can work with. And so like, I'm just saying that out loud, that I've talked to the Citizens for Common Defense. They've come in my office and we've had conversations about what they're thinking, how they feel about, and these are people, the people that have come to my office have been able to go back and forth and have a conversation with me about why they feel a certain way. And I've seen some things their way, and I've not seen things their way. But that is the thing, is more responsible gun owners really sort of saying like, okay, right, I got it. Do I need an AK? No. Do I enjoy shooting it? Absolutely. Right. I get it. I understand, but I think we've got to be very smart and methodical about how we do this, because gun owners are not just Republican people. They're not just European people of European American people or European immigrants. They're not just those people. They're all kinds of gun owners. They're not just men. So I'm with you on being in this conversation. I want more people to join it. I think it's worthy of that, of the conversation. Oh, thanks, David James. I appreciate it. Where's the studies on the right? Yeah. That is what I'm saying. The studies. Yeah. We study every damn thing, David James. I'm so sick of studying stuff, but I get it. We need to. David James says, I'm all in for checks and permits, but outright ban on anything seems politically bad right now. I don't think I disagree with you, but I'm here for checks. I'm here for permits. I don't mind any of that as a person who shoots. I think it's, it is comical. Remember I said I'm like a 215 girl. I love my guns and I love my voting rights. And there is a faction of people in the gun sphere who are like, no permits, no ID, no nothing, no checks, but like to vote, you got to have all the ID, all the paperwork. Nah, man, no. These are all we are all constitutional rights people, right? Like we believe in our constitutional rights, then like you can't have one without the other, which again, essentially, like I'm in the same thing where I'm like, I'm okay with being permanent. I'm also okay with being asked for my ID. Like I'm okay with that. Right. That's where I'm okay. Person on staff once told me, like down in Mexico, that everybody gets issued an ID that is also for voting. Like I think that there's some work we have to do. Here, but we do need more responsible gun owners that are, again, do not have an unhealthy, that the culture can be unhealthy. And I'm just trying to talk to sensible people. And I will say this again, I have tried to talk to the NRA. I've tried to have conversation, but there ain't no budging. So I'm not interested in talking to anybody that's not operating in good faith or, unwilling to see that there could be compromise. Right. All right. Yeah. Hey, Dawn, good morning. And Dawn said, I'm going to go ahead and put this in our show. Dawn said, good morning to Delegate Glass and all my beautiful neighbors, because we are neighbors, and I'm so grateful to have you. All right. I'm so grateful to have you. I hope that you all are able to make today great. Be kind to yourself. Drink water. You're a flower. Get some sun. Even though it's cold, get yourself some sun. Until next time, I am Delegate Jackie Hope Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District. Again, honored to serve. I love being with you on the Morning Dew, because doers get more done, just like you. Don't sue me, Home Depot. All right. Be well. Take care and make it a great day, y'all. Be safe.